I'm Tony Perkins, and this is More Than a Game, the podcast that takes you beyond the box score and tells the Arizona sports stories you've never heard. On this episode, we head behind the scenes of club sports. While professional hockey in Arizona may seem to be on its way out, two universities are trying to ramp it up. The University of Arizona is finally taking after its arch rival Arizona State University by adding a women's ice hockey team. Their inaugural season isn't until this fall, but that doesn't mean they aren't already getting set for it. Paula Rodriguez follows the journey of both teams from the ice rink to recruitment.
Picture yourself stepping into the Mountain America Community Iceplex in Tempe. The first thing you notice is the crisp crunch of blades slicing through the ice, a sound that sets the rhythm for the game ahead. It's a symphony of precision and power, each stride a note in the melody of hockey. But the ice isn't the only instrument in play. Listen closely, and you'll hear the echoing thud of the puck as it's passed between players, the slap against the boards adding another layer to the composition. Amidst the action, the voices of the players cut through the cold air, their shouts and calls adding a human element to the game. While most of us are still asleep or just beginning our day, Arizona State University's women's ice hockey team is practicing in the early hours of the morning, preparing for their upcoming game in hopes of reclaiming the title of Western Women's Collegiate Hockey League champions.
Teams want to beat the team that's, undefeated, but that's something that is an outside pressure that, that's how we react to it. So I think going in, we just have to play our game and we'll be okay.
Coach Lindsay Ellis first founded the program in 2016, and for the first time in program history, the team went undefeated in their regular season. The stakes are high, but Ellis believes the team can pull through.
It's really neat to see a group of 18 to 22-year-olds come together and, accomplish things together and go through, different adversity and just keep building upon it. And this is really the first group that has been resilient through it all, and that shows through, the hockey scores.
Ellis, an Arizona native, brought the women's team to Phoenix after seeing an unmet need. Now the program has grown in ways she never expected.
When I started the team, I always said it was our same goal. We want to win a national championship, but I really never envisioned that it would be like the way it is now. It's really cool. They have their own little fan base. Sometimes at games, I actually caught myself looking out at senior night, and there's people making posters. There's little girls coming over to, do handshakes before the game, and we've really just grown a community here that didn't exist before.
When Ellis first began her hockey career in the Phoenix Valley, she never had the opportunity to play on an all-girls team until she was 16, playing for the Lady Coyotes, a Phoenix area youth travel team.
That was one of the best experiences I've had, and one of the only times I've been coached by females. Went off to college, same time the men's ASU team won the national championship, and it really had me thinking, why couldn't we also have that opportunity?
The reality is that most female hockey players rarely have the opportunity to start their career on all-girls teams until later on in their careers. Ellie McKenna is one of those many players. She is a junior forward for the Sun Devils. She first found her love for hockey when she started figure skating.
I had realized that pretty quickly I liked hockey a little bit more than figure skating, so I got into hockey, and I grew up playing boys hockey in Alaska because there wasn't many girls that had played in our state. And when I was 14, I switched over to girls hockey.
While she loved her time on boys hockey teams, she noticed there was a different culture on the women's teams she played on.
You just become instant best friends, and ever since I switched to girls hockey, every teammate I've ever had has been one of my best friends.
Her words carry weight, underscoring what mentorship and representation can mean for young athletes.
There's a lot of women's hockey building in the state of Arizona, and I think it's really important for those girls to have somebody to be able to look up to, especially coming from someone like myself that didn't really have anybody to look up to, and knowing that that kind of role that we have for those girls is crucial when, with their development and kind of getting to see what their future looks like.
It's experiences like watching women's ice hockey at the Olympics that can push the next generation of players to follow their dreams. At least, that was the case for the University of Arizona's incoming coach, Caitlin Hogan.
So I watched Team USA get the gold medal hung around their neck, and after that I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be up on that podium. I want to be there.
Hogan ended up accomplishing that dream, just not for the sport she had in mind. Hogan won 2 silver medals in weightlifting after opening a fitness center in Southern California, completing a successful career as a Division I hockey player, and coaching for the Anaheim Lady Ducks, another youth travel team. Hogan decided it was time to go back to her true love.
What next? And my heart kind of went back to hockey. And I was like, I miss coaching. I miss like really teaching the next generation how to continue to build the game and build the sport.
That's when she contacted UA about a job. And the rest is history. To Hogan, UA's expansion is just a response to a growing demand. But the program's secret is that it is not the first time they had a women's team.
And the reason they weren't known is they couldn't take the Wildcat name, so they were the Arizona Icers. So learning that as well, that we once had a women's program and now we haven't in such a long time, it was really cool to see that now we actually have that support from other women who have stuck around.
Seeing the program's revitalization gives hope to Hogan, seeing a new level of support from the team's retired players.
They all had to fundraise. They had to pay for their own travel. Some of them didn't even know how to play hockey, but they just loved the idea of being on the ice and being able to be an independent athlete. So they've all been through it. So now we have this list of 20, 30 women who are in the same type of experience as the women on my team.
As Hogan starts recruiting her first team to come to Tucson, she has found that when it comes to club sports, it's more about advertising the college experience.
It's an honest conversation you have to have with the athletes, because I don't think anybody joins a sport to just be mediocre, right? They want to play NCAA. Everybody who plays hockey wants to go Division I, but less than 1% of athletes get to go Division I. Being very real with them and saying, you know, I'm guessing you probably are getting offers from NCAA Division III schools, but there's more to take into consideration than just playing sports. You're there for 4 years. Are you going to enjoy campus life? Are you going to feel a part of campus and be a proud alumni of the school that you went to?
Hogan's pitch and perspective made the world's difference for one player in South Dakota. Rylan Pesca first toured UA when she was visiting her grandmother, and since then, UA never left her mind.
I always just had it in the back of my head. Like when I would go on a different school visit, I'd be like, oh, but is it like Arizona? Or, oh, does it give me that feeling? And it's not being an unbiased feeling, but it's like, that was the first school I ever toured. And it just like has a place in my heart.
Pesca has always loved hockey, from a young age playing side by side with her sister.
We played on the same team, played on the same line. And she's 2 years younger. So of course, but I just felt a more personal connection with hockey. And it was something I didn't have to say, oh, I have to go to hockey. No, I get to go to hockey.
When it came time to pick a college, Pesca and her mom could not stop considering UA.
And it's funny, my mom was asking me, Rylan, do you know if they're ever going to start a women's team? And of course, the day she asked that, I look it up and it's like, oh, announcement. So when I found out that news, I was like just exhilarated. And I was so excited to actually potentially have a chance to move down there and play hockey.
The pieces seemed to just fall into place for her, and meeting Hogan was the final step she needed to know this would be her home.
She knows how to communicate with us. She clarified, yeah, you're moving far, but I'm going to be your mom here. And it made me feel very welcomed and safe with her. She said, I want to run this like a Division I program. And even just what her goals were for a first season, I was like, I like that determination, and that's what I want to be a part of.
Now that Hogan has started to build a team, community members can expect to attend games as soon as this fall. For this first season, Hogan really hopes to see the same community support that the men's program receives come to the women's side. At the end of the day, this is about more than the game for her.
We just want to continue to grow the sport and show all of those young girls in the stands what they're capable of, to kind of like show them, you don't have to just play soccer or softball. There's another sport that you could actually love the same way that we all love it.
I'm Paola Rodriguez for More Than a Game.
If you're from Canada, do you play hockey, brah?
And I says, do I play hockey? Well, I play air hockey, ball hockey, bird hockey, bubble hockey, field hockey, floor hockey, ice hockey, kitchen hockey, road hockey, roller hockey, table hockey, twist hockey.
And that's it for this episode of More Than a Game. Join us next time as we learn about an early pioneer in adaptive sports. The show is produced and mixed by Zach Ziegler. Our news director is Christopher Conover. Our logo was designed by A.C. Swedberg. Thanks to our marketing team for their help in launching this podcast. This show is part of the AZPM podcast family. You can find all of our podcasts, news, and video productions at azpm.org. I'm Tony Perkins. See you next time.
AZPM podcasts are made possible in part by donations from listeners like you. Learn more at support.azpm.org. Thank you.